It is common to wonder when this is all done, when all the staging is done, it is common to wonder, why didn't I do this before? Because it feels better. We open up spaces. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about buying and selling homes, click subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the latest tips for buying and selling. Hi, my name is Kitty Cheney, owner of Chandelier Property Group with eXp Realty, where we provide brilliant solutions. One way we do this is by helping you understand the process of buying and selling a home, the potential challenges, and the common roller coaster of emotions along the way. Challenges and stresses are reduced and often eliminated when one knows what to expect in advance. We call this sharing the light of knowledge. We've worked with so many people just like you, looking for help to buy or sell a home, and we love to serve. Whether moving in 9 days or 90 days, if you want to feel heard, informed, and comfortable, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our info is in the description below, so we can help you make a smooth move. With step 1 of selling your home, we will look at pricing, we will look at staging, and we will look at photography. First, though, when we sit down together, we will look at current market statistics. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market will affect the strategies that we choose to employ in selling your home for top dollar. And so it's important that we look at those current market statistics to see where the market's heading. Next, we will look at pricing strategies. Now, there are 3 basic pricing strategies. The first is to overprice and leave room for negotiation. On the surface, this sounds like a great plan. However, the problem is that when we overprice, we narrow down the number of buyers that are coming to look at the home, and we're seeking for that one buyer who is so in love with the home that they're willing to pay more for it than what it's actually worth. Rarely does that work, and so we end up marking the price down a little bit, and sometimes down a little bit again. And the more often we mark it down and the longer it sits on the market, the more the perceived less desirable characteristics are seen. And so people start to wonder, why has it been on the market for so long? Why is no one buying it? There must be something wrong with it. And so we do not want to overprice by too much. This is not a strategy that I recommend. The second potential strategy is to underprice. I know that seems counterintuitive, but it is a common strategy to underprice and thus try to start a bidding war. What this does is it brings in the maximum number of buyers. So where overpricing limited the number of buyers coming to look at the home, underpricing accentuates it. We end up with more buyers than we normally would have. And so we create the perception of higher competition. And so by the buyers that do choose to place an offer, they tend to offer a little higher. However, this also can backfire. This can backfire with such as buyers that I've actually had tell me, there's too many people here, I don't want to be part of a bidding war. And people who normally would have made an offer walk away because there is too much perceived competition. And the second way that this plan can backfire, although you may get an offer higher than what it is normally worth, higher than the fair market value, what can happen is we then are dependent on the appraisal, and the appraisal can come in lower. It is very common for someone to offer above fair market value, above the list price, and then wait for the appraisal and use that as a push to drop the price, to renegotiate the price further down now that they've secured the home with that high price. And so underpricing can backfire in a couple different ways. Also not a strategy that I strongly recommend. The third pricing strategy is to price it right on market value. This gets us not the maximum and not the minimum, but just a good amount of buyers coming to look at the home. It also gets us buyers who feel that it's priced fairly and they don't need to play the games of trying to knock down the price or trying to raise it just to get the home secured and then renegotiate later. Rather, we just get good, strong buyers who love the home. That's what we're after. That is the strategy that I most strongly recommend. Next, we're going to review the CMA. the comparative market analysis. This CMA is something that I put together for you, where I have studied out and researched other homes in the area that have sold recently, what they sold for, how long it took. We're looking for homes that are similar to yours, similar in characteristic, to see approximate values, what that fair market value is. And that's where we're going to aim with our pricing. And we will select our list price at this time. Next, we're going to discuss the desired time frame, whether you need to move in 2 weeks and we need to get this going quickly, or whether you've got some time and you're willing to let it ride a little longer. That will also affect our pricing strategy. We will have, if you have a firmer deadline, your new job is starting and you need to be there up and running, or you've got a new home that you want to buy by a certain time, whatever your deadlines are. If you have a firm deadline, then we'll start with that deadline and we'll plan backwards. And we'll look at, okay, in order to meet this deadline, we've got to do this by this time and this by that time, and we'll figure out what our time frame needs to be, whether we need to hurry up and get this home sold or if we've got a little bit of time. If you have a looser deadline, then we'll plan forwards. We'll say, okay, well, starting here, here's about how long these different steps take. And so we could have the home listed by this time and likely sold by this time. And so we'll look at it whichever direction we need to go based off of your deadlines and how firm they are and how fast they are. Next, we're going to look at staging and the options that you have for staging. You've got 4 options. Your first is to hire a staging company to do it for you. This is the most expensive option, but also the least effort. Staging is proven. There are research articles that are proven to show that staging a home well does increase both the speed at which it sells and the amount for which it sells. So staging is highly valuable. We definitely want to do some staging on your home. It's up to you how much you do. If you choose to go with this first option and hire a company to do the staging for you, nice low effort. They come in and do it all. There is a higher cost though, and that cost will vary depending on how much staging you have them do. If you have a vacant home and you just want them to do it all and just make it look gorgeous, it's going to cost the most. If you already have some nice pieces in your home and you just want them to add a few things, maybe touch up a few things, maybe move a few things around, that's going to cost less. It's entirely up to you at what level you choose to hire a staging company. But they know what they're doing and they do it well. There is huge value proven for that. So that is up to you, but this is, as I said, a medium to high cost option. A few hundred to a few thousand, it is the least effort and the highest results likely out of it. Option number 2, I can come through the home and give you staging tips, and you can DIY the staging. So my mother was an interior designer with Ethan Allen. I grew up with someone redesigning, rearranging furniture. About every 6 months in our home, we were moving some things around. So I know what to do. I'm not as good as her, but I do know what to do to make your home look fantastic. And so we can walk through the home. I'll get you a whole punch list of things to do, whether it be moving furnishings around, doing a few repairs, cleaning various areas, and maybe you need some art on the walls. Maybe if you have a teenager who has gone wild with custom paint in their bedroom, maybe we need to tone that down a little bit so that it will appeal to the widest range of buyers. So we'll be looking at that, but we'll put together a whole punch list and you then get to decide how much of it you choose to do. I'll give you a whole punch list. You get to decide whether you do it all or do just a little bit. Your results will vary and your effort will vary. So this is the low cost, most effort, medium to high results, depending on how much you do. Typical purchases include art if you don't have any on your walls, throw pillows, hand towels, maybe some paint. Paint tends to be one of the more expensive things that I recommend. But again, it's entirely up to you how much you choose to do. And your results will vary depending on that. So there's your option number 2 is DIY the staging. And your next option is to do almost nothing. Your third, do almost nothing. This is basic decluttering and cleaning. This is no cost, very low effort, and fairly low results. Staging does have value. So if you choose to not do staging, you can expect to get lower results, lower pricing due to that. But sometimes you just don't have the time to do it. And therefore, this can be a great option if we're in a hurry. Your fourth option is to do absolutely nothing. and nothing at all. And this is no cost, this is no effort, and again, very low results. You can expect lower price offers if you do nothing to prepare the home. But sometimes that's just the way we got to go, and we need to get the home sold. And so that is an option that you can choose if necessary. Most of my clients do choose to DIY. They choose that second option, and we walk through the home, get them a list of what to do, and they DIY those options. That tends to have the best range for them of lower cost and effort, but still having the highest results that they can get for that effort. So as a story for you, I had a client at one time who chose to go with that option of the DIY list, but they chose to push back on many of those items to do. And they did very few at first. And this was during a buyer's market where the home sat on the market for a little while. And because they chose to do so little, it sat on the market longer and longer. And they gradually did more and more until eventually the home sold. And it could have gone so much faster if they had chosen to listen to both the pricing strategies that I suggested and the staging strategies. As another story for you, I had a client who did no staging to their home. They listed it with another agent, did no staging, and the home sat on the market, sat. And meanwhile, they watched me selling multiple homes in the same neighborhood very quickly. And theirs just kept sitting. There's nothing wrong with their home. It just kept sitting. It wasn't selling, and these other homes were. And so they called me when their listing agreement expired. They called and went, "Okay, Kitty, we need you to sell our home." And we came in. The only thing we really changed was staging. The pricing was fine. We just changed the staging. The home sold very shortly thereafter. And the main difference was staging. I strongly recommend that you look at getting your home staged. And we can absolutely do that DIY punch list for you to save you some expense on that very valuable staging. During that staging appointment, we will tour the home, and I'll give you a notepad, and you will write down that list of all the items to be completed on the punch list. So you'll have that notepad with a list of everything. I'll tell you everything I can think of that you can do. Then we'll talk at the end about prioritizing that list of what needs to get done, absolutely, and what would just be really nice to get done. And it's entirely up to you, again, how much you do of that. The more you do, the higher the results you'll get. It takes people about 2 weeks to get that list completed. I have had people take as little as 4 days and as high as 4 months. But most of my clients take about 2 weeks to get through that punch list. So you can plan on that. It is common to wonder when this is all done, when all the staging is done, it is common to wonder, why didn't I do this before? Because it feels better. We open up spaces, we lighten spaces, and it's very common to feel like, oh my goodness, how come I didn't enjoy living in my home this way the whole time I've been here? And yet we all do it. We all do it. So don't worry about that, but know to expect it. Then when we're all done with staging, we'll bring in a photographer. Now I bring in a professional photographer. I do not take smartphone photos. You've probably seen some on the MLS of the smartphone photos and the homes that are not staged well. You're not going to have that experience. Your home will shine and glow when we list it. So we'll have that professional come in. The date that we set is a target. We will set a target date for the photographer. And if you end up needing to take longer than those planned 2 weeks, we can move it. Don't worry about it. This is just a target, so you have a date to aim for. We can push it out a bit if needed. For the photographer, when they come, you want to have all lights on, all the blinds open, your pets and all of their stuff out. We don't want the pet things showing in the photos. It's okay if they're there during the showings, but we want them tucked away for the photos. And the photography appointment takes about 30 minutes. So you do want to be totally ready for it. There is no time I'm just going to quickly move this. No, you don't have time for that during the appointment. The photographer needs to come in and just quickly move from space to space. They know what they're doing and they do so very quickly and efficiently. And you need to be ready for it. So have everything done before they get there. Then photos will come back the next day. It starts moving quickly now. The photos come back the next day and I will get it posted up on the MLS for you. I will order the PR, the preliminary title report, and HOA docs. I'll get those all ordered and ready to go while you are taking those 2 weeks to prepare the home. And so we'll review that preliminary title report, make sure there isn't anything on the title record that shouldn't be there, and that gives us time to clean it up if necessary. And we'll get those HOA docs all ready to go for when the buyer needs them after we go under contract. In the meantime, once you are done prepping the home and after we've just got it listed, now you're done preparing and now you have time for your forms. I will be sending you forms to complete of the MLS input form. This is the basic criteria of the home. This one I'll need you to complete very quickly. This is the how many bedrooms, how many square feet, what type of shingles it has, all of that. All that info comes from you completing this form. I'll get it as complete as I can beforehand, and then you will go through and proof it and fill in anything that I didn't know. But I do need this one completed very quickly so we can get it active on the MLS. Next, you'll be working on the seller's property condition disclosure. This is a list of everything that you know of that has ever been a problem with the home and what, if anything, you have done to fix it. It's a long list of questions. Just read through them and answer them truthfully and honestly. You do want to err on the side of being forthcoming. If the question comes to you, oh, should I disclose this or not? Just disclose it. It's better to over-disclose than under-disclose. This is the document that protects you legally should the buyer find any issues with the home after closing. You want to make sure that you have disclosed it if you knew anything about it. And so this protects you. And this time of completing these forms and getting the home all ready to go and all the staging and determining pricing, this time can feel heavy, but it can also be exciting. It's a big but very important step in preparing the home to list. Once your house is all staged and the photos are done and it's all glowing and ready to go, we are ready for step 2, the showings. I'll see you on the next video. If you appreciated the knowledge shared in this video, click follow and subscribe for more videos on buying and selling homes. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and want to feel heard, informed, and comfortable along the way, comment below, or even better, call me. I look forward to being the brilliant solution you can't wait to share.